Right, so we're on this one now. It's a conversion white plan system, I think, to a combi, but we'll have a closer look. So put all the dust sheets down, put the stroll and roll stuff down. A lot of people recommended that from the other video, thank you for that. So first we're going to do, you've got the boiler in here, up there, heat only boiler, flow and return. We've got the stop tap over there that I snatched in the other video. We've got hot and cold going through there that's going to feed a sink. The waste's going to go out the other way. So we've got to cut that cold main right down, take it around there under the sink, come up, put the stop tap under the sink. So you can see the pipe where we've got to go under the plinth as well because there's no void. Come along there, and then we're going to chase into the wall, come out here where the new boiler's going, and then take hot and cold into the loft. Pick the gas up from the loft as well, hopefully. So in here we've got the cylinder. So I'm going to get this labelled up in a minute. Can't see any valves or pumps down here. So I'm going to guess that's going to be up in the loft. So I'm going to head up there. Let's have a look. So it's always good to take a bit of time, familiarise yourself even with the system. Have a look up there. And hopefully the 3-port valve will be up there. And have a look. Up into the darkness again. It's not too bad. To be honest, the loft space isn't too bad. We need to go over there, let's go and have a look. So there's the pump. So first thing I always do is locate the pump, find the arrow on it. It's pointing that way. So this is boiler flow. Then it goes along. You've got your 3-port valve. You can see B and then A on that. So we know this one goes to heating. That one will go down to the cylinder over there. And then this is some kind of makeshift bypass. And we know that will go back to the return to the boiler. So that becomes boiler return. And then this one, because it's the last T back into the boiler return, that'll be the one coming back from the cylinder. So I'm going to whip out the Breakdown Bible Installer Edition and let's have a look at that as well. So the Installer Edition that I'm working on, the contents are obviously going to be a bit more, but for now we're working on this. So Y-plan heating pipe work. This is what we should find. So we had the heat only boiler down in the kitchen, the flow comes up, then you've got your vent and your cold feed, and then your pump. That's the right order that it should be. Whether or not it is, we'll have a look in a minute. But I remember this as VIP, vent, inlet, pump. So the flow of the water's going up, you've got your vent, your cold feed, your pump, then you've got your 3-port valve, which is basically how they've got it here. We're going in that direction. So we should find the vent and the inlet this way somewhere. So it's that one, tracking it back, then it goes down under there, goes round here, and then you've got vent and your cold feed there. So you've got your little header tank. So it's coming from the boiler this direction, flow, vent, inlet, and then pump over there. It's not ideal. These should be closer to the pump, within about 6 inches of each other, but it's obviously worked for years, albeit the state of the pipework and stuff, you'd like to think it probably didn't work the best. So you get to port A goes to your heating, through your radiators, back on the return, and then port B for bath, goes through the cylinder to heat your hot water, comes back, and then your hot water return is your last one back, which actually is exactly what they've done here. So that one will come from your cylinder, that one comes from your radiators, as you can see, and then it goes that way. So if you're ever unsure, the pump's got an arrow on it which is pointing that way, so this one is pointing that way. Always, it helped me learn by going of the direction of the pipework. So now we know what the Y-plan system looks like, because that's that. The next one down is Y-plan conversion to a combi. So it's the same layout, except we've changed that to a combi boiler. We're going to reuse the flow and return downstairs. So when it comes up into here, we're going to disconnect the pump. We're going to disconnect the vent and the cold feed. So we're going to get rid of that, carry it over, disconnect the vent and the cold feed, tee them together so it's just one straight bit of pipe essentially. Get rid of the vent, cold feed and the tank, come along. When you get to the 3-port valve, disconnect and remove the 3-port valve, disconnect and remove the hot water cylinder, and then over here is step-by-steps of how we're going to do it. So we're going to remove the pump from the boiler flow, remove mid-position valve, connect boiler flow to heat and flow that connected to port A. So on here, where we've got port A here, we're going to now connect this to that, disregarding that one because that one goes to the cylinder. So you could swap this for an elbow if you were feeling like you wanted to, although I'm going to replace some of this pipework because it's appalling. I'll probably cut it here, renew a piece, maybe with a bend on, straight onto there. So now that lives up our heating flow, and then disconnect cylinder return and cap. So this one where it comes back in, we can just cut and cap that there, and then we're going to cut and cap that over there. No, we're not, because that returns from the heating system that way. So yeah, I'm going against what the Bible says. We're just going to cut and cap it on the return and leave that and use it downstairs. And then connect new combi to old boiler return, connect combi to boiler flow, disconnect and remove existing air vent, tank, and fit a system filter and flush system. So it'd be interesting to know what you think of this. This is the first look of this. This will go on to converting other systems and how other systems are supposed to be piped and stuff. But I thought I'd try something new and help out people who don't necessarily have a background in install. So if we have a quick walk around, knowing how a system's supposed to be and pointing the signs from certain things like that, we don't have to look around and find every pipe. We know where it's going. So these two go off to the heating, they disappear that way. Those two go back to the boiler, but these two on the outside go to the heating, and you can see by the microbore manifolds. So we'll just wait for those to leak when we start flushing it in a bit. So because I'm converting it, it's not in that bit because it's just heating so far, but I may add this bit as well. So we're going to disconnect both tanks. So that's your domestic, your hot water that feeds the cylinder, and then that's your central heating that obviously goes through your radiators and then goes through the coil of the cylinder as well. Bit of overflowing copper, very nice. Don't mind a bit of scrap, if I do say so myself. So yeah, we'll take that out, get all that disconnected. First thing, we've got to turn the water off, so we'll go and do that. So let's get the water turned off. That's the first thing. Nice new stop tap. So we're going to open both hot and cold, because you're going to want to drain that hot water cylinder. Then we're going to start stripping this out. Cut all this pipework out. So if we were going to label this pipework, we're going to go flow, return, find my pen. So this would be hot water, return, hot water, flow, but they going to be cut out, disconnected up there. And then over here you've got your hot off the top of the cylinder. You can see the hot going up. Feeds that shower, and then you've got a cold feed as well. So that must be the tank cold feed. That's a bit naughty. Tank cold feed goes down to feed the cylinder, but it also comes up to feed that shower. I bet that's not the best shower. I definitely wouldn't blow your wig off. Right, it's a cold feed. So we're going to live that back up again to feed that shower. Saves running new pipework down, so I'll just cap it there. And then the hot, does the hot go down as well as up? Yeah, I think it goes through there to feed inside the bathroom, so yeah, we'll have to keep that live. Just disconnect where it comes off the cylinder there. Get the immersion disconnected as well. Just get the gas tested and capped off. That's my stuff. Right, so 2 minutes. That's all sound, hasn't gone down. So we're going to get this disked. Pop a disc in it, so it's all safe to work on. And put it in the meter outlet as well. Right, so the importance of safe isolation. You can see a little flickering light on there. There's nothing, that's off. Turn it on, then the boiler lights up. But even with that turned off, we're still getting right, so we gotta get the cylinder out and drained. Cut the straps. Little tip to siphon it out, use an Aquavac, save sucking it, or an Aquavac that works. Right, let's try again. So because I'm not sure what this tank is, it looks really questionable. I'd say it's probably asbestos, judging by everything else in it. It's had new insulation down, but underneath is the old one, which is a nightmare. So I've cut that out. The overflow's gone, straight in the scrap bag. And then you've got the little tank, so you had your cold main, which feeds that. Cold feed coming down, which feeds the heating system. So you can see the vent, which they put in 28. We're going to get rid of that down there. Couple those two together to get rid of these. Cold feed will go, tank will come out. Domestic tank's going to stay because I'm not touching that. Just disconnecting the copper to it. This is the vent, the domestic vent that went up and over. So what I'm going to do is cut it here, and it goes this way, which feeds the hot over there. So it kind of drops down in the kitchen over there, which we're going to get rid of. It also goes this way to drop down over there, which we're also going to get rid of. And we're going to reroute the hot and cold that way to where the new boiler is. So we'll keep the flow and return, and then send hot and cold over there, and then try and find the gas over there as well, which looks like great fun. Might be a job for tomorrow, that. Not sure. I think for today we're going to get all of this cut out, and label up all the pipe work, and yeah, go from there. Right, so that's the cold feed that fed the cylinder and the shower. So I'm going to cap it off where it went to the cylinder, but connect it up to the cold main that's here. So I've got a lever valve to go on there, like that. So that now just feeds the shower. The reason I'm not taking it out is because I boarded over it, and what's the point, may as well reuse it. So connect it back to there, that'll feed the shower. We can always isolate the shower if there's a problem. And then over here, I've cut those down, so I'll get rid of those in a minute. That's where the boiler is, flow and return, and then here there's two gas pipes, which is very, very weird. So I'm going to reuse that one because it's closest, cut it there, take 22 along, down into there, and then I'll show you the gas in a minute. But this goes to microbore, and then they've literally just crimped them, which obviously is leaking like a sieve. So I'm going to cut those back on a 15 to get those capped. And then this gas, it comes through there, so it goes through the wall, tees that way, comes along, tees that way, tees that way. So I'm pretty sure they don't have a gas fire, but I will check. So I'm going to cap that, pretty much cap it there where it comes in, and just take it that way, and just have one feed and get rid of all of that, because it's unnecessary. Don't need that much gas pipe inside the house. It obviously goes down there, and it fed something over there at one point, I'd have thought. So still waiting for that to drain. I'll get that off the wall, just connect the pipes up there, and then start doing this pipe work along here. Yeah. Right, so going to start cutting this out now, converting that, get rid of the 3-port. Noticed a bit of a leak over here, so definitely have to cut that out, because that's going to cause problems. And then over here, put the lever in, lived up the old cold feed to live the shower up, just cap the hot for now, because I've got to reroute those tomorrow. Little tank's gone, all the pipework to it's gone, that's taped up, that can be left. And then in here, got to run the pipework that way, cap those 2 off that did go to those leaking pipes. Got rid of the vent and the cold feed. So this was the old one. So you can see the cold feed, they've taken it down and back up. It's like an anti-gravitational loop. So what that does is it stops it pulling in air. Apparently it basically just builds up loads of crap, but yeah. So this is out. That's all cut out. So that's what goes down to the cylinder, or did. So that bit there. And then over here, I'm going to cap that return. I'll cap this as well. Get rid of that. So yeah, making progress. Then we're going to get this one along to there and connect it to this one. Right, so that's the conversion complete. So boiler flow, gonna have an auto air vent on there, cap that hot water return, gonna have an auto air vent on the return, and then we've come up with the boiler flow, teach straight into the heating, and then that was the old return anyway from the heating, so that'll go back to the boiler now. So the heating system's complete. I'll alter that over there as well, but yeah, that's an easy way of just converting the heating from a wide plan system to a combi. Right, so bit of an update with the gas. So because it comes in there, tees that way to pick up a gas fire that the customer doesn't want anymore, goes that way, it goes all the way around to the other side, and then it goes out the wall, down the wall, and capped off outside. So that can go. And then the other one, which went along there and then fed the boiler, we've agreed to get rid of that completely, get rid of all the gas in the loft, and just run it externally, because the meter's out there, the boiler's over there, so it just makes sense to have all the gas outside rather than having it run through the house when it doesn't need to. Just a potential to leak inside the property at some point, because the condition of this copper pipe's so poor. So I'm going to get all this cut out. Right, so we're back on this conversion today. I ended up just cutting the gas out yesterday and leaving because I'd had enough. It was a busy day yesterday, so today I've got to run the gas along there, sort the flue out. But firstly we're going to put the auto air vents in the loft and then get the thorough flush on. So we've got the thorough flush down there. Morning Josh, you right?
Morning, how you doing?
So we're going to attach the thorough flush up there to the flow and returns. Temporary link over the cold main just so that we can power it. And yeah, should be quite satisfying. Right, so these two are the highest points. So I'm going to put an auto here and an auto over here, like that. I always opt for autos, save you having to come back up in the loft. I know some plumbers like to put manuals and hide them in weird places around the loft so that they think that if somebody else goes to it they won't know they're there. And it will create airlocks and then the customer will want them back. So I don't do that. Just bang some autos on, nice and accessible if they need to be changed. Just before I flush it actually, that doesn't look too good. Probably have to cut that out, just pop a coupler on, put it right in the middle. Right, so I didn't do much of a video on the thorough flush last time, but cold main goes into there, goes through the flow, which is connected up there, goes through the heating system, back on the return, and then straight out the dump. So this will be the first time that we've lived this up. And I think it's going to be quite dirty. So cold main on. See the cold main going through there. Then it goes through the flow, through the heating system. Hear it in that rad now. Must be the first one. And then you'll see it start coming out. Yeah, look at the state of that. And then you can flip the flow and return around the other way. Yeah, I think we'll leave this flushing for quite a while. But it's the old style radiators, so, and it's on microball. Wow, look at that. State of that. Right, so while that's still flushing away, we're going to put the template on the wall, line it up with the old flue holes, and then mark where the pipes need to be, drill through, chase the pipework into the floor to connect to down there and do the changeover. Right, so with the template on, screwed the holes, we're going to drill straight through for the gas, which is going to be about there. And then we're going to go straight through for the condense because we're not chasing it into the wall in here, straight out. And might as well do the PRV as well. Right, so closer look at this gas. It went up there before and then went up, but where it hits, so we can't take anything through there. You can see where it started to damage that as well, so it's a good job that's going. So I think come off the top of the meter, down below the gate, run it along the line, and then we're going to come up through there. So that's the pilot for the condense. I'm going to call that in a minute. That one's the PRV, and we're going to bring the gas for about here. And then obviously the flue there, a bit close to the top bit. We've got a long flue to take it out past to comply with manufacturer's instructions. And yeah, the condense will come down straight into that waste there. Gas straight up, PRV with an elbow back to the wall. Right, so it's all cored out, all chased in, ready to start doing some pipe work. Literally straight in there. Bit of paste. Or a lot of paste. Like that. Tighten that up, square that up, nice. Right, so with this, I've got the cold main in the middle, which is going to come off the stop tap along. It's got to come into the kitchen unit, put the stop tap here, and then go back down to feed the cold. The cold's got to go that way to feed that sink out there and that outside tap. Then it's got to go this way to feed the boiler as well, where we chased it in. So probably got to cross that over, to be fair, and I'll take that. So that pipework's connected down, chased in, into here. Some non-setting jointing compound to go around there. Pretty much ready for the boiler to go on now. Down behind the units, we're going to put some one coat on there. And I think they're having a splashback as well, so should look alright. Right, so boiler's on, pipes are up there, so you've got flow, hot, cold, return, filters on. Going to alter those two tomorrow, so the wrong way round, bring them down, new pipework, take the hot and cold up, and then they're lost in the wall, down, come out there, along, so that'll be the cold that feeds the house. This one will be the cold main that will come from that stop tap up into here, stop tap, drain off for the plumbing police, take it down onto that, tee it up, wash machine point, and then the hot up ready for the sink. And now we've got working on the gas. So we got the condense in, gas pipe working along, PRV. We've got to set it down under the gate, connect it to that, flues out past the soffit. Happy days. Right, the gas is all done. Through there, down, left that there, ready for a hob. Don't know where it's going to go through, so we've left it too long so we can drill through. And then now it goes, misses the gate, because the other one was hitting on the gate, and then it just goes up into there. Got rid of that, given the Sparky a job to do, so he's going to have to reconnect this, extend it or whatever. But yeah, looks smart that. Condense down into there, and then we have got one more to come through about here with the kitchen sink, and we'll alter that bit at the bottom as well, just to accommodate it all. Right, so last day on this one, hopefully. It's been a busy 3 days, so we've just got that to alter down there, and then up there, do the pipe work down through there, all that's hidden, do a bit of wiring and stuff. So sounds like a really easy day, but we'll see how it goes. So for the flue, gas pipe even, underneath here, that's sleeving, using non-setting jointing compound to fill around there, like that now actually. So for those of you that haven't used this before, it's kind of a bit like Play-Doh, I guess. Comes in a little tub like that. Take that off. Kind of scoop a bit out. Like that. Roll it together. And then you'll be able to seal around. A bit more, but yeah, kind of like that. Right, so we got the pipes done. We're going to put the switch view spur up there above the flue as well. So I'm going to go in the loft and connect that up. Right, so my job is to connect these over here, like the leaves, like that. So flow, hot, cold, return. That would have been nice, just link straight to that, but they need to be flipped around, because why wouldn't they? So let's go on and get that done. Right, so they're crossed over now. So you've got flow on the right, return on the left, crossed over there. Now just the hot and colds. Right, so nice little job in a minute. It's cut out all that redundant pipe over there. The hot and cold went down to feed that side of the kitchen. That goes down to feed the other corner. That's all now redundant. We've run 2 new ones. So there's the hot connecting to the existing hot. That goes down to feed the shower. So like I said, it's now mains pressure. So put an isolation valve on. We've teed into the cold there. Ran the pipes over in there. Done all the connections in there. Over there. That was a bit of a game. Brought them into here. Took them around there. And then we'll go and have a look downstairs. We've got to have a look at the wiring in a minute, but all we're going to reuse is the power, so we'll disconnect all the components and leave live neutral earth going over to the boiler. Right, so that was an absolute game. Doesn't shut off outside. Ran the cold main across, up through the stop tap, along, down, washing machine. That's going to feed the kitchen sink, but we've only got this much until the unit's in. Goes down, feeds the utility that way, and then feeds the boiler and the rest of the house that way. So let's get the water turned on first time. So far so good. So we should be getting water in the cold. Nothing like the hot yet, that's good. So that's live, toilets fill in. Bath got cold. That's good. Shower mixer. And we'll go and have a look. There's another bathroom. Through here. Yeah, cold still live, that's good. No hot yet, which is ideal. Cool. Right, that's all good. Let's do the hot now. That's the one that wasn't pressurised before, so we'll see how this one goes. So we haven't capped that one, brilliant. Oh well, it's fucking wet now anyway. Right, so let's actually cap this time. Right, now let's try again. Now we'll just go over and check in here. Take your boots off. We had nothing before. And now we've got water. Right, so that there was exactly why I always say to my apprentices, when you are working on, especially a conversion where we're here, there and everywhere, once you take that out and you're done in a space or an area, get everything done, all the nuts tightened, everything done, tidy away, and then move on, and then things like that don't happen. But it's a good learning curve, that. Right, so quick one on the wiring. You've got live supply, so that's your live in, and then you've got live load, so that's your like your load out. So load's there, supply is there, and then you've got neutral load, neutral supply. So into the socket is a supply, out to feed the boiler as a load. Right, so you've got switch fuse spare, power goes straight up, it'll go to that 10-way up there, so we'll go up there and have a look. This is all coming out, so it's dead for now. Right, so I would say that's your power supply coming in. I'll whip the 10-way off and have a look anyway. Just going by the looks of it, I would say that probably goes down to the programmer, but we won't know till we look inside. Don't drop that, it's not helpful. Right, so we had a 3-port cable coming in, so the orange is your LR, so that goes back, that feeds the boiler, did feed the old boiler, but we don't need LR now because we've got a plug-in programmer and a wireless room start, so that can go. But this is now the boiler cable, which we've worked out straight away because it comes off the orange. Then you've got your neutral and your earth, and then your live. So here's the permanent lives coming in here, look. So one of those goes down to feed that. Let me put that one, that goes off. I'll have to have a look at that. But for now, you can leave live neutral earth in there and then work out which one it is that comes up. So it isn't that one that comes up because that doesn't go to a permanent. That goes. That looks like that's linked to live. This looks a bit dodgy. Might have to get the electrician back to sort this out, to be honest, because that goes there. That's your live neutral earth. That one goes down. That one feeds the programmer. So you've got your live neutral earth coming in to the 10-way, goes down to feed the programmer, like that. And then we need to keep live neutral earth, so everything else can be disconnected. Apart from, it's not helpful. Oh my god. Yeah. So we'll keep the power supply in, which is one of these two. I'd say it's this one. And then disregard everything else, keeping these live and keep the blacks blank. So just a quick point out, you've got the white for heating on, and then that lives this up. And that's got absolutely no sleeving on, should be an earth. And now this has become live because they've done that. Crazy. Right, that's all we needed. Live neutral earth to feed the boiler. Safely isolated the other two. So we had sun yesterday, rain today. So final bits now, it's all been flushed, system's wired up, just doing a bit of commissioning. So in that 19 millibar. That's good on max. So yeah, it's been a long one, but we're getting to the end of it now. Right, last time I'm in this loft today. Well, and hopefully for the foreseeable. So, put all that back down. Put all that back down. Lagged the pipes. Well, the ones that I did. Covered all the other lagging in. Cut all the hot and colds out. Everything's nicely lagged. That's how the electrician left that. Absolute state. This tank is all taped up and left because it's probably asbestos. Not touching that. And then yeah, that's where we did the conversion. It's nicely insulated. So yeah, I'll be glad to get out of here. Right, we're just finishing our hoovering up. Put the washing machine over here temporary so that she can still use it until the kitchen's in. Boiler's all done. No pipework at the bottom, which is great. Running out there. And that's it. The big tidy away. If you've liked the video, you can like and subscribe, and then anything you think that, you know, I could have worked on or did better or showed a bit more of, just put it down in the comments, and I'll catch you on the next one. Happy days.